Good morning. Welcome to First Unitarian Congregation of Toronto in person and online, where our mission is to nurture connection, share life's joys and sorrows, and act for love and justice. We welcome you, whether you are joining us from around the corner or across the globe, online or in person. You belong here because you are here. Our flag that unites us from sea to sea to sea was first raised February 15th, 1965. So happy Flag Day, Canada, and go Canada. Yes, there you go. Last weekend, I was delighted to attend the annual midwinter retreat north of Toronto, where we took time to visit with ourselves and other Unitarians from across Ontario. Within the lands surrounding us, the trees, a shelter from the icy wind, the fields so bright we needed sunglasses, the sky a perfect blue for the snow angels that offered cradling after a hike. Even in the coldest days, I am awed when I locate the sacred in nature and the nature in the sacred, reminding me to honor and care for the land as she cares for us. With gratitude, First Unitarian Congregation of Toronto gathers on the ancestral homelands of many Indigenous peoples from time immemorial. We acknowledge that this is a traditional territory of the Wendat and the Haudenosaunee. And today, we meet at 473 Oakwood Avenue on the treaty lands of the territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, covered by the Toronto Purchase Treaty Number 13, 1805, with the British Crown. Many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people now call this city their home. We strive, as individuals and as a congregation, to be informed, to honor and care for the land and waters, and to engage with integrity with Indigenous people. My name is Catherine Lake. I am a member of this community and your worship leader for today's service. I'm joined by Gregory O on piano, Director of Congregational Music Dallas Bergen, Alice, I was putting your names together, Angela Clausen, Director of Lifespan Religious Education and Storyteller, AV Technician Matt Rideout, and our Pastoral Minister, the Reverend Victoria Ingram, who will be speaking on finding truth in the stories we tell. Thank you to Karen Dunk-Green for the Valentine's chocolates here in the sanctuary, and for the shout out both in person and online. Loving that you are here. Wonderful. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. And thank you, Karen. And now a word from our sponsors. The Life of the Congregation, that's us. We have the Charity Euchre Tournament, dinner and silent auction coming up on Friday, February 27th, with proceeds supporting Oakwood's For Youth initiative. So get your tickets today. To learn more about our faith and community, you're welcome to attend a newcomer information session, which is also the first step to membership. Becoming a member here means that you get to vote on congregational matters and more formally shape our future together. And Reverend Linda is holding a session in March, so register through First Light. If you're not getting First Light, our weekly e-blast, register online or visit the welcome table outside the sanctuary doors for information on what we do here and to get connected. Thank you all for being part of the life of the congregation. And now I invite Terry Marks to come forward and light our chalice, if that's okay. As we begin our service, for those online, I invite you to light a candle or chalice, if you have one close by, and join with us in saying our chalice lighting words. As we light our chalice, may its flame kindle within us the warmth of compassion, the glow of love, the fire of commitment, and the light of truth. Now, let's take a moment to greet our neighbors in a way that honors their comfort and keeps us all safe. I invite you now to rise as you are able and join in singing together hymn 6, Just as Long as I Have Breath.
Thank you for singing that song. That sounded really nice. Good start off on a chilly morning. This morning, our call to worship is a piece of work, at the end of the poem here, by Jason Cook. It's called The Great Teachers in Life. We are seekers on a quest to discover truth and meaning. Sometimes we think we've found it, wrapped up, glimmering with newness, straight off the intellectual assembly line. All the answers are right here for us, and others if they'd only listen. But truth has a way of coming in disguise, sometimes wearing rags and sometimes finery. But so often cloaked from our immediate sight, And sometimes that which we have rejected, that which we have let go of or decided was only for others but not for us, that can be our teacher. Let our time of worship be an acknowledgement of the never-ending journey toward truth and meaning, and our appreciation of those we learn from along the way. Let's read together our congregational covenant. Be up in a minute. Love is our doctrine. The quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve life, to the end that all souls shall grow in harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other and with all. It's time for all ages, and I know Angela has a great story today.
I especially try hard to choose the fun and funny ones when Reverend Victoria is with us. Today's story is by Australian comedian and DJ Andy Lee. Anybody here feel like they're especially good at spotting a liar or a lie? Yes? Yeah? Okay. All right. We have some people with the superpower of spotting a lie. Let's see if you get the lie in this book. Do not open this book. Go read something else. Oh, you opened the book. I assume that was an accident. No problem. Accidents happen. I'm not even angry. Just please don't turn the page. What the heck? You turned the page. Did you hear me okay? I'll put it down to a simple misunderstanding, but I'll say it once more very clearly. Please do not turn the page. What are you doing? I just told you not to turn it. You definitely heard me. Look, I was very reasonable when you opened the book, but this is too much. Whatever you do, please don't turn the page. You did it again. Are you mad? Are you thinking straight? You're now in danger. I'm telling you as a friend that you definitely don't want to see what's on the next page. A young boy saw it once and his hair turned white with fear. Whatever you do, please don't turn the page. Okay, I lied about the boy's hair turning white. I'm sorry I lied, but you don't understand. You must stop what you're doing. Honest to Charlie, if you turn the page, I'll never speak to you again. Never, ever. Please don't turn the page. Guess we're getting the silent treatment, huh? Arrgh, you turned it again. Even after I gave you the silent treatment. Right. I'm going to tell your parents exactly what you are doing unless you put this book down straight away. I mean it. Please don't turn the page. Wow. Okay, I warned you. Now I'm calling your parents. Mom, Dad, your child keeps turning the page and must be punished. Send them to their room. No dinner for a week. Confiscate all books, including this one. Ha. See how you go turning the pages now. Oh, good golly, you cannot be stopped. Please, please don't turn another page. See, I'm crying now. I'm crying. See, I'm begging. I'm serious. If you get to the end of this book, I'm done for. I'll do anything. You want gold? I'll get you gold. You want a flying car? I'll make one for you. Just please, don't turn the page. Right. Seems like you can't be reasoned with, so go ahead, turn the next page. That's exactly what I want you to do. Seriously, turn it. No, I was trying to trick you, but it didn't work. You mustn't turn the last page. Something awful will happen. You see, I once met a terrible witch who told me that if anyone made it to the last page of this book, she'd turn me into a frog. So please, please don't turn the page. Thanks a lot. That was Do Not Open This Book by Andy Lee. And young people who are with us who would like to come to Children's RE, we're talking about our UU 6 principle, the goal, which we have not reached, of world community with peace and justice and respect for all, because that's an underlying value of the Olympics. The original Olympiad in Greece was that we would call a truce so that people could travel safely to demonstrate their skill and courage. And so that's what we'll be doing today, is talking about our sixth principle and however it is that we're enjoying sport ourselves, the limits of our bodies, and watching Olympians and cheering for our teams. Isabella and I will see you downstairs.
Enter with me now into a time of meditation or prayer, a time we begin with a poem by Jamaican-born Toronto artist Ryan O'Neill, followed by silence, then a musical meditation with the lighting of candles of concern or joy, and the sharing of our sorrows and joys. In selecting today's meditation, I chose Valentine's Misery by Ryan O'Neill, which not only serves to illuminate the experience of Caribbean immigrants in Toronto, but connects with today's theme of story and the shadows of sacrifice that edge into the light of family lineage. Valentine's Misery. My mother came to this country on February 14th, 1994, all alone, left me at home, landed to a snowstorm, stranded at the airport. So the story goes. 31 years later, now that she's behind the veil, wading through the snow to get groceries, free in this land, blue passport, health care, bones creaking under added pressure, adjusting to the snowbanks and divots left from other boots. From other boots who had to brave the cold and that everlasting hill up to the supermarket, hill up to the promised land. 31 years later, now she's left me at home, all alone, again, gone beyond the veil. I wonder if the food run was worth it. Maybe now I finally feel the weight of her sacrifice. Separation from my mom, separation from her son, a world away from her son.
When we gather, we look for ways to tend to the sacred bonds that are between us as a part of this community. A part of that is caring for each other when times are weird. Either things are going great and you hope to stay on that track, or you find that you've moved to some side track that's just not working right for right now. Maybe you just need some support. And we have a wonderful team of volunteers, our spiritual care team, who is available in those times when you just need to talk to somebody. And this morning, I'd like to invite Jane Larimer to come up and tell us a bit about what that spiritual care team is available to be for you if you should call them and need to chat with somebody. So Jane?
Hello, I'm Jane Larimer, a longtime member of this congregation. In the time I've been here, I've taken advantage of a lot of volunteer opportunities, serving coffee, which is a great way to meet people, acting as a board member, and serving as chief convener. I've done other things too. A few years ago, as part of the On the Move team, working with Art Brewer, Judy Clark, and many others, we emptied out the building over on St. Clair. And I've been a mentor for the OWL program. If you're lucky, you might get to do that too. I'm currently doing two things. I'm Journey Group Facilitator at Christie Gardens, so a shout out to everybody down there. And I'm a member of the spiritual care team. I'm happy to talk to you about any of these opportunities, but today I'm going to tell you about the spiritual care team, who we are, what we do, and how you can reach us. I'll start by introducing the members of the team. You'll be familiar with them due to other roles they play here. Tanya Cawthron, who is not here today, probably busy traveling with work. Donald Cole, who's just over my shoulder. Angela Clausen, who you've already heard from today, and myself. We're supported in our work by Reverend Victoria, and through her, we are accountable to you, the members and friends of First Unitarian. We've all successfully completed the lay pastoral care training developed by the UUA in the States, and I'll talk more about that in a few minutes. We meet monthly to share what's working well and what our challenges are, and sometimes we take on additional training. But I want to tell you that all of our conversations among ourselves are confidential. We do not bring up people's names. We do not talk about specific concerns that people are having, though we do keep Reverend Victoria informed and up to date. We serve primarily the members of our congregation. However, if others reach out to us from the community, we're happy to talk with them as well. People who may or may not have had connections with UUs in their past lives. We also sometimes are contacted by others who live outside of Toronto and even outside of Canada. These contacts are primarily from people within the US, and when that happens, we try to connect them to congregations closer to home. So what happens when you reach out? Well, what's a good time to reach out? That may be the first question you'd ask. During times of grief or loss, illness, recovery, personal transitions, or when you have spiritual or religious questions you'd like to talk about. When someone reaches out, it's usually by sending an email to the spiritual care team at firstunitariantoronto.org. That website, that link is in our on the website. And that email comes to all members of the congregation. I have volunteered to reply, to be the first responder, and to let people know that we've received their email and to give them an idea of what support we can give and what's outside our mandate. After that, and after confirming availability of a team member, I make an e-introduction and let the two of you arrange to go forward. Now, you may want to meet in person, virtually, by Zoom, or by phone. The length of the meeting, the frequency of your meeting, that's something you'll want to discuss. Typically, a member of the spiritual care team will connect with a person for 2 or 3 times. It's not unusual for additional time to be arranged if both people think it'll be helpful. I have spoken with people sometimes weekly, sometimes monthly, and usually by phone. Some calls last 10 or 15 minutes, some last an hour. I've spoken with people 1 or 2 times, and some people I've been in touch with for months or years. It's all based on what you need and what works for you. Now, a bit more about that training. That training from the UUA focuses on care providers being present and non-judgmental, building bridges of connection, and helping someone make meaning of their own experience, not our experience. Spiritual care is not fixing people's problems. It's not therapy, it's not counseling, and we don't give guidance or answers. We don't tell you that Jesus is going to save things. Put your trust, relax. That's not us. No, our role is to listen, to be a non-anxious presence, and a spiritual companion. So what actually happens during a meeting with a spiritual care provider? Well, you meet. Then you talk, and we listen. We may start with a blessing, the lighting of a chalice, or simply taking a few deep breaths together. When we meet, our role is to be a witness and a companion as you tell your story, as you speak your truth. We may ask questions to help us better understand what is happening with you, or we may ask questions that help frame your story as part of a larger story, placing it within the context of your family, your culture, within the context of your life. But really, we are there to let you talk and to know that you are heard and that you're not alone. It's as simple and powerful as that. If you feel you'd like to talk with someone, don't hesitate to reach out to us. Our email, as I said, is on the website. And we'd be happy to connect you with someone so you can tell your story anytime. Thank you.
We all know that there are times when a caring, listening ear is a wonderful resource to have, and I'm delighted that we have our spiritual care team to provide that here in the congregation. We also share this morning our joys and sorrows as a congregation. I have 2 sorrows to share this morning. Prayers, this is from Tanya Cothran, who asks for prayers for Titus, a community organizer in Uganda who was arrested last week for hosting 5 gay young men in his home. This is illegal in Uganda. We pray for his safe release and for the safety of all LGBTQI people around the world. Our second comes from Kate Chung, who asked us to remember and grieve for the hundreds of child amputees in Gaza with no painkillers and no way out. So from our hearts, we send out our prayers, our hopes for changes, and our hopes for better days. We hold in our thoughts all those who are heavy-hearted, grieving, facing illness, and we pray and we hope that they will find comfort. I invite you to bring to mind everything that you're holding in your heart today. For those of you who are online, you can share your sorrows or concerns in the chat. If you are here and you would like to speak into this space the name of someone you're caring for or thinking of, please feel free to do that in the next couple of seconds.
The families of Richard Cho and George Lake.
Heidi Shakluna. We are grateful that life also offers us moments of joy and delight. In those moments, we know how important it is to feel gratitude and to be thankful for the blessings that have arrived on our doorstep. I'd ask you to bring to mind what you are grateful for today. Again, if you're online, you can put your joy in the chat. And if you would like to speak the name of someone that you're joyful to have in your life or grateful is a part of you, please say it into this space.
Friendship.
My son will be a year old in 2 weeks.
My son's looking.
Alex, who cares for our building?
Catherine is going to now light an additional candle. We know that in all hearts there are moments of joy and moments of sorrow. For those that remain unspoken, we light this candle, and we light this candle for our concern for the larger world. May all that has been shared here strengthen and renew the bonds of this beloved community. In joy and in sorrow, in both struggle and success, may we together embrace life's blessings and endure its challenges in the sacred hope that we might grow stronger through both. Let's continue to work on summoning our strength to do our part to help heal the world. And may we live with courage and compassion, with gratitude and joy today and always. Amen. We'll sing Spirit of Life. This morning's reading comes from author Arundhati Roy from the book that she wrote called The God of Small Things. The secret of the great stories is that they have no secrets. The great stories are the ones you've heard and want to hear again, the ones you can enter anywhere and inhabit comfortably. They don't deceive you with thrills or trick endings. They don't surprise you with the unforeseen. They're as familiar as the house you live in or the smell of your lover's skin. You know how they end, yet you listen as though you don't. In a way that although you know that one day you will die, you live as though you will not. In the great stories, you know who lives, who dies, who finds love and who doesn't. And yet you want to know again. That is their mystery and their magic. If you will stand, we will sing together This Is My Song, number 159.
Peace for lands afar and nigh.
In a recent article that was in the Associated Press, researchers studying caves on the Indonesian islands of Sulawesi and Muna completed carbon dating some residue associated with stenciled handprints on the wall. And they were delighted to learn that the prints date from around 68,000 years ago. These prints are the oldest known of this nature found to date and may indicate that our ancestors were expressing their creativity, working together as a group culture, and it certainly tells us that they had a desire to be witnessed and to tell a story and to communicate the happenings of their lives and let the world know that they were there. I have to admit, I'm quite fascinated by the work of archaeologists and paleontologists and others who study the ancient past, looking for artifacts and sites that help us uncover secrets of our human ancestors. They seem to keep working to answer those time-honored questions like, where did we come from, and why are we here, and how did we populate the earth, and why are there these weird animals there and these interesting animals here, and all those kind of things. And as I watch and read and listen and dig deeper, I'm left with a few bits of understanding. I have to admit, a few more questions of my own, and a couple of conclusions that seem to fit the patterns and possibilities that these scientists have uncovered. It seems that we humans have an amazing and incredible capacity for creativity. As we developed and got larger brains, well, those brains developed in a way that opens us up to original thought, to creative expression in many forms, to questions of why and what and how. They helped us move into a place of being better problem solvers. And that helped us find new methods and strategies and technologies for living our lives. And our lives evolved and changed over time because of those capacities. Even today, we continue to search for answers and possibilities throughout our worldly tenure. And we keep looking for ways to make things better or different or just find something that we didn't know before. And among our many traits, we seem to have also an incredible need to connect and to communicate, to be seen and acknowledged, to get the attention and companionship of other people, to share information, often in the guise of stories, and to leave some record of our existence for others. I'm wondering if those people 68,000 years ago knew that somebody would enter that cave 68,000 years later and go, oh, somebody was here. We've developed ways to share our knowledge and understanding in mutually accepted methods. So somewhere between, not quite sure, can't nail this down any tighter at this point, between 50 and 150,000 years ago, using that power of our creative brains, humans seem to have moved from a form of gestural communications to specific sounds that substitute for concepts and ideas. They became words. Researchers theorize that the need to work cooperatively and hunt and make tools and bond socially moved these early people to adapt perhaps music, certainly vocal sounds, gestures, and thoughts into commonly understood words. And as groups of people, of course, interacted, and they interacted a lot, they learned and adapted the words of others into their collective language. They helped one another learn new concepts to expand their understanding of things beyond their immediate environment. Language took over and became the dominant way to communicate with one another. And language, of course, is our tool for more effective sharing with one another. Don't have a word for that? Well, somewhere along the line, we'll make up a word for that. We have a means to answer questions about how we got here, what we're meant to do as a species, how and why we are impacted and sustained by the natural world, to communicate and teach the norms and expectations of our social groups, to express feelings and emotions, and thoughts and beliefs. We began to tell stories, to narrate our lives in the moment and for the future as well. We have not stopped telling stories since the moment we could speak, and I think there's stories being told even in those cave paintings. And I want you to imagine the mental capacities you'd have to live in an oral culture, a storytelling culture. You have to be able to remember, to access facts and information and examples and words quickly. And we have continued to tell those stories and continue to use those abilities to pass on knowledge and for many other purposes throughout these thousands of years. And of course, we all have our personal stories as well. Not only do we have our stories that help reinforce cultural messages and share important information or express spiritual understandings, we have those stories that help frame our awareness and also help us put together our alibis when we need them. All of us have the capacity to come up with excuses as well as explanations. And it seems, as I watch these and read and research, it seems that every advance in our human ability to communicate with one another is then either preceded or followed by advances in technology, and often both. So where it's 98,000, whatever it was, 68, 90, what was it? Anyway, God, I'm getting old. Anyway, we're going to leap to 4200 BCE, and we're going to transport ourselves to Egypt. We're going to go there because, like other cultures, Mayan, Incan, for example, the Egyptians developed symbolic ways to capture and communicate their existence. So they started moving from solely an oral culture to a culture that had written ways of showing what the words might be. A symbolic way to capture and communicate their existence, we call them hieroglyphics. They were symbols for names and words and ideas, and there are symbols that are combined to capture complex concepts. The symbols are drawn or carved or inked on papyrus in order that they might be shared with others and used for practical purposes at the time, but also because that gives them the opportunity to endure and be acknowledged and seen by other people who might follow them. And on the heels of hieroglyphics, not surprisingly, written language then started to emerge. I've been watching the NOVA program, Human, and paleontologist Ella Al-Shamahi has been talking about how these advances and how we move through these years and learn and change the way we communicate with one another. She describes the development of writing among the enslaved mind workers of Egypt. And they had observed how their overlords, so to speak, documented their existence, and perhaps because of that, they yearned to have a name and a presence and an awareness and a humanness too. Anyway, in the mines, they have found amazing examples of how they have taken symbols, translated them into sounds, and that is the precursor of the alphabets of the world. If you haven't seen that series, I'd encourage you to look at it. I think it's quite fascinating. So with hieroglyphics and written language, well, a new kind of career opportunity opens up. You can be a scribe. You can be a person who is taught to understand, recreate, and communicate through the use of symbols. A person, or words, and symbols for the words, a person who is available to provide this service to those who need to communicate with others. At this time, and for a long time, only about 1% of the population was literate, knew how to use those symbols, knew what they meant, knew how to put them down and make them make sense. It was a very special skill for a very small portion of the population. And when I thought about the use of scribes, I thought, well, I imagine that it is this point where an element of trust starts becoming important in these kinds of interactions. You have to trust that the scribe knows what they're doing, will translate your thoughts and ideas faithfully into the message that they put down, and has the integrity to have your best interests in mind in doing the work. So perhaps this is where we develop the use of references for employment. You have to tell me what you've done for other people so I know that I can trust you to do what I need to have done. So we start researching a person's background, and we talk with their previous employers to discern their work habits and their reliability. The elements of power, of course, adequate compensation, loyalty, integrity, honesty, well, those become a part of the consideration of who you are going to trust to be your scribe, and perhaps even job interviews, which are another form of storytelling. Well, perhaps those begin to happen so that you can see the potential scribe face to face and make an evaluation of their job worthiness. Now, over the centuries, we have continued to develop strategies and think about ways that we hope will reveal to us when someone is telling the truth. We understand that some communication, importantly, involves literal truth. It's facts and figures, instructions, dates and times and testimony. It's true. Everyone would agree that's what happened, that's what it means, that's what it is. And we have other more nuanced communications that are truths. They may hold cultural wisdom, they may explain historical events, they may explain cultural norms, and these are often shared in the form of morality tales or fables and culturally specific stories and narratives. And over the years, too, we've come to believe that you can discern when people are telling us the truth. We look for consistency in what they're saying. We look for behavioral deviations from their usual demeanor. And we try to catch verbal and nonverbal cues. You know, people who play poker look for tells in their opponents. They look for things that will let them know whether their partner actually has the hand they're bidding on or whether they're trying to bluff. So we check to see if the person seems calm or agitated. We observe their gestures and their mannerisms. We focus on their eye movements, if they seem tense or relaxed, if their narrative seems spontaneous or rehearsed, perhaps, and we note the pace of their speech. And often these do help us tell what is fact and what is fiction. But we also need to remember that humans are infinitely creative. And there are people, we've heard about them certainly, who may not share the same value we do about speaking the truth or being trustworthy, the importance of honesty, or respecting the worth and dignity of others, or doing things that are legal. So join me now in the 20th century. I'm going to skip over some important technological advances, some things I know that you know about: the invention of the movable type press in 1440 by Gutenberg, the issue of people being incredibly, continuing to be illiterate up to that point, and then when books and papers came along, the literacy rates jumped immensely in world populations. Typewriters, ballpoint pens, telephones, telegraphs, televisions, well, you get the idea. And now we are here in the computer age. We've moved far from the huge electronic contraptions of the 1950s to having an incredibly functional and useful computer that almost 72% of the population has access to and uses. That's world population. A cell phone. According to the World Economic Forum, in developed nations, that percentage jumps up to 96%. And at this point in human history, where there are somewhere between 8.5 and 9 billion of us on the planet, it's estimated that only 14% of the world's population has never made or received a phone call. We have 24/7 access to an unmanageable amount of data, entertainment, politically motivated commentary, news, and fake news, spending opportunities, self-help, and medical advice. And there are all kinds of other more nefarious things that I'm not familiar with because I have no clue about how you get to the dark web, but I understand it's pretty interesting out there. And some of us, or a lot of us, it appears, are getting more and more communications that have been generated by computer programs operating independently of human input in the moment. And the capacity and possibility of the computer age has opened the door to people who choose to post false narratives, dubious facts, and communications designed to influence or sway the opinions and behavior or the understanding of truth of users. And here we sit, watching our screen, going, is this real? Is this AI? Is that a donkey? And all of this interaction is interestingly at a remove. We are no longer sitting face to face, communicating with the person who is sending this information. We may see a video, that's true, it can happen. Sometimes we're on Zoom or other platforms for meeting together. But most of the time, we are not face to face with the people with whom we are communicating. And in those cases, our strategies for discerning the truth once again need to be shifted to reflect our interactions in this kind of information environment. So what new approaches do we need to incorporate in our internet use? What habits do we have to think about to get for us the truest and most honest information, news, and advice? The first thing that comes to mind, and the first thing that's cited by those who talk a lot about how to deal with AI, is you need to check out the citations given in any material that arrives on your screen from AI, and at this point, from any other source. You need to dig deeper. So what we thought would be a faster strategy of sharing information, which it is, but in order to ensure that we are reading something that's true, we need to follow the path through the citations that are given for the article to make sure that those places, those resources even exist. They may be put there to make it look legitimate, but when you click on the link to go to the source, you find out that what the link is based on is something that's totally irrelevant to the question that was on the plate, doesn't exist at all, or is from another news source that from your experience or from other people's experience, you know to be not particularly reliable. So we need to check, and we need to follow up, and we need to do our due diligence on those communications. The other thing we need to do is do some more research to find a list of trusted resources that we vet for ourselves, which we know we can rely on to share factual, current, and believable information. That means we go check out all of those interesting advertising opportunities to find out if this miracle solution really will help you lose 233 pounds overnight. God, I wish. We need to find out if we are learning the truth of what is happening, or the closest thing to the truth that we can find. Some news organizations, some websites, some places strive to do that. Others, well, not so much. And we need to remember to go back to our logical mind. We need to look for logical consistency. If you read something and it doesn't make sense or it doesn't hang together, it's probably not true. You need to do your research. I could be wrong, but you need to find out. So if you follow the argument and you go, that doesn't end up where I think it should end up, that's probably a clue, because that's a part of using our instincts. You know, the old adage still applies. If it seems too good to be true, it probably is. Throughout our history, we have told stories. Some of them educate, some of them amuse, some of them share information, some explain our presence on earth. There have always been those who were committed to telling the truth as they understood it. And perhaps as another example of our human creativity, there have also been those who perceived that there was a benefit in stretching and obscuring and blending or obliterating the truth to serve their own needs. In that case, it's also for us a case of buyer beware. Pay attention to what you're looking at. With the capabilities of the computer, the internet, and AI, there are infinitely more ways that we can be misled, purposely scammed, or lied to. And there are an overwhelming number of ways we can be led to follow our worst instincts, investigate the darker sides of life, and indulge our impulses. Each of us will be confronted with opportunities and options we may have never even thought of before. Do you ever look at something and go, wow, how did they do that? That looks really amazing. And then realize, that's all made up. And we will be challenged, perhaps, to make a discerning choice about how we will use the tools that are available to us. As Unitarians, we have our 8 principles as a tool that we can use to consider our actions and our decisions. We can bounce things off those 8 principles and say, is this dignified? Does this push forward the worth of everyone? In all those kinds of things that we do in our principles. We can use that as a way to discern a truth that we choose to live with and live our lives in congruity with our values. Because stories have been around for a long time. They're one of our favorite things, and I don't think they're going to go away anytime soon.
Oh, thank you so much, choir and Dallas. You should see him from this side. He's like very, very, very dynamic. Wonderful. Thank you. Just a quick note. I won't lie to you. This place and these services and our programs all require money and time, and we thank you for your generosity. There's a basket and a tap machine at the back. The tap machine, $20 donations or more get a tax receipt. Speaking of receipts, you should, if you are on an, if we are a charitable organization, so you should be getting your annual tax receipt through email or mailed to you if you don't have email. But or if you donate monthly through Canada Helps, you'll find your receipt there. And speaking of monthly donations, they really, really help our leadership, our community here plan and budget accordingly. So please consider signing up for monthly donations. And now let's rise as we are able and sing our final hymn, number 412. Let hope and sorrow now unite.
Thank you so much for being with us today. We hope that you have found connection and meaning in the service, and if you will join us in the room behind us for coffee and a time together, perhaps there will be more connection and more meaning made. For those of us online, at the end of the service, you will be invited to join a group for a discussion. How many connections are online today, Matt? Do you have that? 50-ish. The question for today, which you all can think about, is based on these words from Patrick Rothfuss. It's like everybody tells a story about themselves inside their own head, always, all the time. That story makes you what you are. We build ourselves out of that story. So what stories do you recount when you tell others about yourself? How do these stories help you share your identity? And let me share with you our words of benediction. as we get ready to extinguish our candle flame and mark the end of our worship time together. These are from Mark Mosher de Wolf. With what benediction shall I leave you? This. In your life, may you know the holy meaning, the mystery that breaks into it every moment. May you live at peace with your world and at peace with yourself, and may the love of truth guide you in your everyday. Amen.